Now, business or relationship?
Should couples really go into business together? It's hard to find your life partner, but if you can imagine that this person could be your business partner as well, how beautiful would it be?
Yeah, and that's why let's talk beyond the surface.
Welcome, guys, to the first episode of our show. We actually called it 2 days ago. Let's talk beyond the surface. So the idea behind this talk show that we have, the podcast show, whatever you want to call it, is basically hosting and having guests that they're actually partners in life and in business. So basically what we want to talk about this for the next 1 hour is basically what kind of a day-to-day things that our guests actually having, what are they doing, how do they feel about it in terms of business and relationships. I'm myself, Momen, and my wife,
I'm Kuebra.
my partner, Kuebra. She's here as well. And she's going to talk a bit about what we going to have during the next 1 hour and who's our guests as well.
Exactly. So, our main, as Momen already said it, we'll talk about partnership and how it is to be partners in business and in life. Meaning as well, as you said it, married, partners like being a family or anything in that manner, and how it is beyond the surface. Because most of us, we see the surface, what's seen on social media and everything, but we're interested to get to know our special guests today, Sarah and Mortada, Sarah Refai and Mortada Hamoudi today, whom we are having close to our hearts since years now. So we are really happy that we have the first episode with you guys.
Thank you so much for having us. Honestly, it really means a lot. And it really means a lot.
So we've been known each other for like 3 years now,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I'll just go, and I'm going to go easy. It's casual stuff. We're not going to go deep into topics.
But we'll go beyond the surface.
But we're going to talk about beyond the surface, because this is exactly why we're having this show, because a lot of people seeing couples, or let's say a lady, a woman, or a guy, or whatever, they're successful as you guys.
Yes.
They're doing their own business and so on. That's the objective of having this show. So I'll just be very simple and ask that question of how did you guys meet? How did you guys end up actually doing what you're doing now? You can just talk and you can just tell us exactly how things actually work with you guys.
I'll let you start.
Really?
Yes.
No?
Okay.
You're good with that.
I'll start with that. So how we met at the library in university.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 2015. And that's when it all started. I don't know how. Honestly. It's everyone asks me, it's like, how did you know he's the one or he's the person? I think it's just a feeling of like you see someone and you're like, everything just comes actually together. It just comes together like a puzzle. And since then it's been quite a nice ride.
Interesting journey.
Full of adventures, like different businesses one from studying to graduating to having businesses to expanding the business, having a team, traveling together. Yeah, it's been.
So did you guys study the same
No,
major?
we didn't study. I was studying in chemical engineer and social sciences.
Yeah, I was in the politics.
Okay.
Yeah, we had different dreams even.
So
Like my dream was to work in the government in political science, and like that was my dream. I want to do something for the people, with the people, to the people, everything. He was in engineering, so different path, different bachelor degrees, different dreams. But then when we met, stuff shifted.
Okay, and
And we met in the middle.
How was it to meet in the library? Like you were looking for a book and you saw Sarah. How did it
How
go?
was it? It was like, I remember it was during the summer, and I was just going to the library. The majority of my time I used to spend it in the library. So I went there and I'm like, okay, who's this person? I've never seen her before. So I started talking and all that stuff, and
Beautiful.
one thing led to another, and we're married now. Business partner.
I have a question, because who's running the politics at home now?
At home, it's me.
Like confident, it's me. Yeah, that's me.
But in the business, no, it's 50-50.
Yeah, I would say that.
Well, that's amazing. That's one of the things that we actually got to talk about it the other day is how did you end up, or what was the time, what was the let's say the spark that both of you got to end up doing what you're doing now? I mean, You can tell us a little bit about what you're doing in terms of business.
Sure, absolutely. At the moment, we have a consulting agency, and we focus with consultants and coaches, help them to start and scale their online business. That's our main focus, and specifically, we target the Middle East. So everything we do is in Arabic. And funny part is I don't read or write Arabic.
Okay.
So Sarah,
Didn't know that.
Wow, me neither.
I use that.
I know you since 3
Wow.
years. I didn't know that.
When I say I don't read or write Arabic, it's basic level. Like I know,
Okay.
not even basic,
No, basic.
below basic. You know. So let's just put it. I know how to write my name.
I know what kind of papers I'm going to need you to sign. I'm going to let you sign a lot of
So
stuff.
when it comes to that part, yeah. So I don't know anything how to read and write. So Sarah, she's more into alhamdulillah, Sarah, you're very good in Arabic and all
studied
that
Arabic,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah. So our market, it's the Middle East. And yeah, alhamdulillah, it's a very unique market. Alhamdulillah, I will say a blue ocean so far. So that's why alhamdulillah we got, like you can say, the bigger share if you look at it now at the moment. Alhamdulillah, Dawrati now online, that's the company, is doing great, very robust. We have over 1,000 coach now approximately,
MashaAllah.
and we are now 16 employees now. So yeah, I can't complain. We're
MashaAllah.
crazy, right? Alhamdulillah.
So
You know.
we know you, as we said, since 3 years, and we got to know, like, we were a part of the journey that you had, and we're really proud to have friends like you, to call you our friends as well. And I always say that because we have a lot of respect to what you're doing. But I would love to know if you had to describe Sarah and the other way around, like in one word, how would you do that?
In the business world, or as a
That's a
wife?
question now. Do you differentiate in that?
She got the question. Not me. I'm preparing the next
No,
question.
I'm just
As
curious.
as a wife, I would say one word: honest. Super
Interesting.
honest, and also the fact that why I was attracted to her
Yeah, that's
is because of her honesty.
Beautiful.
Since day one, she was straight with me. She was honest. Anything I say, I'm like, wow, this person is so transparent.
Pure.
Yeah, straightforward.
Very
Yeah,
straightforward,
beautiful.
very transparent. There's no left or right, or playing. Especially when you meet someone in a relationship. Damn, there's these games. They text me back. Who texts first?
Yeah.
Who says I love you first?
Yeah.
All these games that
Yeah.
couple of people they play. With her, I'm like, she's straightforward. Like, subhanallah. And this is the beauty of it.
What do you want from me?
Who are you?
Very straightforward, and this is what made me fall in love with her. In the business world, she is whatever she wants, she gets it.
Dedicated.
Very dedicated, very, very dedicated. Let's be honest here. There's always ups and downs, but at the end of the day, when she puts her mind, she gets it.
Strong
So
woman,
the word is dedication in the business.
Beautiful.
See, I would say the same thing, because when Mortada wants something, good luck if you make him quit.
Yeah.
And that's in life or in
True.
business.
We
Like,
can
if
be-
he wants, like, no, I want it. I'm like, Mortada, later. He's like, no, I want it. He does anything around it just to get it. I'm like, khalas, okay, I'm not gonna have a say in this.
Yeah.
If he says it, like, khalas. I don't want to say stubborn, but I would say actually dedicated too. Whether in business, whether in life, or if he wants to buy something, I have my own in it. Khalas, I'm gonna buy it, and I don't care what you say. I'm like, okay, khalas.
True.
You want it, you want it.
Actually, that's what happened in 2021, Ashkam, right? When we met you in 2021 or 2020, I think.
I think
I think
2020.
2020.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first time we met you guys, there was some, internal feedback between each other, me and Kuebra. So we were
the
like,
first time we hear it.
yeah. So we were like, okay, who are these people? Honest. The first thing that we saw is this guy, Mortada, he's very logical.
Curious.
He kept
I
asking
like his
questions like
curiosity.
in my head, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, just stop, man. He just
Yeah.
keep asking you, what is hummus made of? Where did you live? Yeah, this guy
Did I
Yeah.
ask what's hummus?
so many
you asked,
questions.
what
I
does
don't
this have?
remember.
What is
Yeah.
this? What is this?
He kept
Yeah,
asking so many
yeah,
questions.
true.
So it turned out that this guy is very curious. So that means that he's very logical. He's a numbers
True,
guy.
true.
He just need everything to make sense for him
sense.
to move forward, whether keep a friendship, talking to this person, and so on and so on. Sarah, she had the feedback as well. Remember that she was a bit quiet, actually so quiet. She was like,
Yeah.
Introvert.
Testing the water.
Yeah.
No,
Introvert.
I think
I
she's more
analyze.
testing
Yeah.
waters. Like,
Exactly.
is this a person that I can trust? And I have the same thing. Like, I totally understood you. And I remember back then we were sitting
Yes.
at a place and you guys were talking. We were talking for hours, if you
Yes.
remember.
Yeah.
And we even went to another place because the place has closed.
Yes.
And we had to find another
Yes,
spot.
yes.
And we started like the ice was melting. And I totally understood the way you felt because I have that as well. I need to find out if this person is really worthy to come in my life in
Yeah.
a way. Like,
Exactly.
is this person really somebody I can trust? Because
Yeah.
you're opening up in a way, right?
And take my time to analyze that
100%.
person. It's like,
Your sweet
okay,
time.
start talking. Now it's like, this is work. I'm like, okay, analyzing,
happens.
analyzing. Yeah.
Exactly. I had the same
And
thing.
this is the same thing that most people told me. They're like, Sarah, when you see you on social media, like you're always talking and full of energy. I'm like, I am that way in person too, but not the first time you meet me.
Yeah.
I'm quiet. I have to
100%.
analyze. I have to study you. And then you'll see
100%.
the Sarah you see on social
Yeah.
because
media.
that's what happened to us as well,
Yeah.
especially me, because I've known you on social media before Kuebra. So
True.
I was like, why is this person is so quiet? I mean, what happened? Is there something in my hair?
By the way, a lot of people say that, like, especially like when we met with other thought leaders or famous people also, and when they meet with Sarah and they see me, I speak the majority. Who are you? Let
Back
Sarah
off.
speak.
Stop asking questions.
But you know what is it?
And they say, Sarah, how come you don't speak? And Sarah just, I just analyze.
yeah, basically, like the first time, give me the break of like, I'm just gonna analyze. Second time you're gonna see me, I'm a total different person.
Exactly.
But at the same time, what I realized after meeting other entrepreneurs as well, or most speakers, most of them, they're introverts. They're
Majority, yes,
They're
yes.
majority they're introverts. They speak comfortably in front of the camera, on stage, and everything. The first time you meet them, they're quiet.
Yes.
When they're comfortable, khalas, they're gonna start talking like comfortably. So I think I'm one of them. I only knew that after meeting different people.
But that's if you are comfortable.
If I'm
Sometimes
Yeah.
she doesn't.
Yeah, you don't
like-
feel it. You
Yeah.
don't get the
Sometimes she
vibe.
does. Yes, she doesn't.
I
feel
just
the vibe.
don't
She
give the energy.
And that's true. Yes, yes.
And if we talk honestly about it, if you are at a certain point in your life where you're successful, you have to protect yourself in a way because you're giving, and that's why we call it beyond the surface. You're giving a piece of yourself openly to the public in a way. And if you meet people, you're just trying to protect whatever you have. And we can totally understand that. And since 3 years, we built this relationship, knowing each other really well. But at the beginning, I totally understood the way you guys feel because it is hard to build up whatever you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to find out, is this person somebody who's bringing something into my life or just taking away something from me?
Yes.
And that's something we can honestly talk about, I believe.
Yeah.
100%.
But you know what's interesting? Most of the time, that I always want to know, what did you guys thought about us when,
Oh, yeah.
like the first minute, or your internal feedback when you went back home? What did you say?
We liked you. That was our feedback. Yes, we did like you.
Yeah, we did actually. Yeah. We
What
did.
else
We
should
were
they say
excited.
right now?
Yeah, we were actually excited because we're like, oh, we're so happy we have met another couple.
Yes, like us. You
Same
know,
same age.
they're in the same age,
same way of
same
thinking.
in
Yeah.
the journey.
Yeah.
Because it's rare. Honestly, let's be honest here. Very rare. Like even us, like back home when you go to back home to Canada, I don't think there's probably one couple who do somehow what we do. And they're older than us, of course. But still, there's only one. You
One
know?
couple. That's
So when you see especially someone who's like you or he's in the same path, like I can
you
connect.
can. You can
easily.
have good conversations.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
You
when
know?
you're like, oh, I found
Yeah,
someone.
True.
You know.
And the interesting part about us is that we understand each other as couples, but individually
Yeah.
as well. Like we're really good. Like you and Mortada are really good, and me and Sarah are really close. Like it's not just being a couple. It's like really we found each other in this. Which I'm really proud because it's really rare. I mean, besides that, it's rare to find couples doing a business together. It's rare to find people that you're vibing with
Exactly.
on a business level as well as on an individual personal level.
Correct. 100%.
And that's one of the things that I personally witness, because I come from Palestine/Jordan, and my friends, they have this mindset, which is the culture, and everything goes on in Jordan, that the wife should be at home, the wife should be doing whatever.
But who do you penalize? Do you penalize them because they are, or the society itself, how they were brought up?
Yeah, it's the environment. It's not them, because I was living in that environment.
But you
I
still
left.
you manage exactly.
I
Yes,
left
yes.
that environment. So that actually one of the things that I am interested as well, knowing that you're from Iraq and Sarah from Lebanon, and Jordan, so almost the same, and Turkey as well, the same culture. So when I started to tell people, and people got to know that we are in business together, and she's showing up now on social media and so on, you've seen this kind of a culture shock from people, like, oh, why is it okay that she's showing up her face and stuff on camera and stuff? And it was like, yeah, so why not? I mean,
But don't you think it's becoming
fine.
normal these days?
that's the thing, it's becoming normal, but you still see this,
You still
like,
see that
still that
critique, you mean?
yeah, like, why, you know?
When
She
you say
doesn't
why,
have to do
who is
that.
it? Like from the family side, or from friends?
From family, no, from friends, from everybody's around you, that they don't understand this.
Because when we
How?
started our journey, the first question my parents asked me, they told me, "Are you sure? Are you sure you're gonna let go your, your engineering degree?"
Yes.
So once again, to be an engineer, as you know, is sort of a prestige, especially in the Arab community,
Sure.
or even like, it's a
In general, yeah.
in general, it's like a prestige. It's like you spend more than 4
Years.
years of your life
True.
to get to go to school. We spend a lot of money. True, I was on a scholarship, but still, you spend a lot of money, a lot of energy, sleepless, countless nights, like without sleeping, and then, alhamdulillah, you get an amazing job with the government. This is literally the ultimate dream for everyone. You know.
But did you want to be an engineer? Did you want to be in politics, or just like family
Yeah,
or
I wanted to be, like, because I always loved challenges, right? Like solving problems and all that stuff. So engineering, until this moment, I'm extremely happy. I went to school, graduated, experienced it, and then, okay, this is not for me. There's something bigger. But if you have told me, hey, from 18, hey, go to entrepreneurship, you don't need school, whatever, I don't know. Like, probably I'll fail in school. But it's because of engineering, because of the discipline of 4 years, I had to go through struggle, through, like thinking outside the box and really thinking, that made me to entrepreneurship. And this is why I'm, anything I see until now in the business, I really try to solve it, try to reverse engineer where's the problem and all that stuff. So basically, engineer helped me to become a really good entrepreneur,
Yeah.
And this is why, like, even like Sarah, whenever we speak, so we always say, a lot of people say, you hear people entrepreneur, don't go to school, skip school, school is bad, whatever.
True.
But honestly, in our case, once again, if I wouldn't go to school, I would have never met.
We would have never
Yeah.
met.
Yeah,
True.
we never met.
Like I liked school, like from the social life more than the educational life.
True.
Just because, I don't know, in my degree, like in politics, the first 2 years were kind of boring. It was just more of social sciences stuff. It wasn't like too politics. The last 2 years were like actually like the hardcore politics. It was fun.
There's discipline. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Definitely.
Like, for example, if you say, okay, no, I want to, graduate high school and
Yeah.
I will do my own thing. There's no someone on top of you, especially when you're 17, 18. You cannot say, okay,
You're
I'm
a bit
going to
too-
like you don't have deadlines,
There's no deadlines, whatever. But when you go through university, 4 years of struggle, and it's not easy. Engineer is not easy.
And not only that, like we were studying and working at the same time.
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
had a responsibility since the age of 18.
Yeah.
We were responsible.
I remember
of, like,
your
making
last year, you had 2 jobs
2 jobs,
plus full time.
full time university. Yeah.
And I remember me too. Like,
It was like a
especially
12-hour
the last
shift.
3 years, I was working also part time, and I was full time also.
So I'm interested. Did you get discipline? Because you said you learned how to be disciplined.
Yes.
Would you say it was more from what you did, or would you say it was something that you learned from your family? Because you didn't grow. You grew up in Canada, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So being there, maybe you had to push yourself in a certain way as well. Because that's what I would be interested. Because I was born and raised in Germany, and I had this discipline as well to be that kind of person and show up who I am. Because of my background, because of who I am and what my family is representing in a way. So, because sure, a study did that, because in my study, I was the only Turkish girl in my class. So I had that as well, being like, I want to do this. I want to represent who I am and what I can do. So I had that as a discipline as well. I don't know if this influenced you, but I can definitely say that I had that.
Yeah, my years in university was just fun. For me, I decided since day one, I don't care about my GPA. I don't care about any engineering. I don't care about anything. I just want to live my life, get to know people, and eventually I'm going to graduate. And that's exactly what happened.
You graduated.
Graduated, and since day one, I didn't work anything related to engineering. I like challenges, but the challenges in university it's not called challenges. I don't mean anything. I don't mean that. But just I decided from day one that it's all about social life, as you said, just being around people, get to know people and so on, and enjoy, because eventually,
But you know,
academically,
the
you're not
whole
gonna-
school system, if you look at it from a bird's eye view, from a 30,000 foot, the whole school system, they are building people, workers.
Definitely.
They're not building thinkers.
No.
You know.
True.
And who created the school system? As you know, who the creators? So it's in the 1920 by Rockefellers. You know, the richest family back in the United States. They were one of the richest, and they created the system. They're like, hey, if we create, you know, thinkers in our society, everyone's going to be rich, and the whole economy will collapse. So what we need to do, we need to create workers. How do we create workers? The school system. Hey, this is a bachelor's. You need to do you need to work. You need to study X, Y, Z for the next 3-4 years. You come out, I guarantee you there's a job. Oh, guarantee there's a job.
That's it.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
You know. So for the past, since 1920 until now, the school system was designed to create workers and not thinkers. The minute you see the very small percentage, 0.1% from the entire those students who graduate, they probably read a book or they go online and whatever, they're curious, and then, hey, wait a minute. There's a huge world outside, but more than just working for someone or anything like that. I can actually think, I can create something, I can go beyond. And this, I'm looking about 0.1%, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, these days it's getting bigger and bigger, and that's why the beauty of it, there's more challenges. Every day you see more challenging.
I just wish the school system teaches you more of life skills more than
100%.
just
Yes.
book stuff. Of like,
100%.
yes, obviously I will know the math, the physics, chemistry, history, geography. It's good, but like teach me life skills. Like for example, like when you're graduating university or school, it's like, for example, in Canada, like I'm gonna have to do my taxes, right? It's like, oh, you're just gonna discover taxes, or like how to take care of something, or like finances, like how you're gonna manage
money
your own-
management.
Money management.
We
It's
know
a big
a
thing.
lot of people, mashallah, they're very wealthy. They're making really good amount of like their monthly income, but when it comes to monthly,
They don't know how to manage
They don't
it.
know how to
They
manage.
don't know how to
They
manage
just
it.
spend.
Yeah.
They just spend. Oh, money comes in, money goes out.
Yeah.
They don't know anything. They spend it on silly stuff.
True.
And at the end they complain. But wait a minute.
Yeah.
You make-
Personally, I had this.
Yeah.
Personally, I was very bad when it comes to financials.
But-
very, I didn't have this knowledge.
But in school, you learn how to do math. You know
Yeah.
how to do.
But that's it. You
Yeah.
learn like just the
Problem.
pages.
Yeah.
That's it. But you don't know exactly personally
Real
how you're
life
gonna do
math,
it.
yeah.
Right?
They stop you from being creative.
Exactly.
Like,
Yes.
That's so sad about it.
Yeah.
Like when I tried to find out what do I want to do, it was like everything was open. So you were like, what should I do?
Where should I start from?
Yeah. Like even when you finished school and you had to study, it was like, what should I do? Because you weren't able to find out.
You were always following a curriculum.
Exactly. And it's so sad because you're blocking yourself through these barriers that people tell you, no matter if it's maybe family, the environment, you have to do this and this is good and this makes you, gives you a more safe future and everything. And you're like, but what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Like
True.
really?
True. And the best part of it is going back to the culture. I have a friend, best friend. Yeah, I told him that I got to know a girl and so on, Kuebra. She's from Germany, Turkish. She speaks English, Turkish, Spanish, French. Oh, about to speak Arabic. And he stopped me. He was like, hold on a moment. Don't you feel for a minute that because she's having all of this knowledge, you're a bit jealous and it might be scary for you in a relationship?
What?
So, exactly. That's my expression. Like, what? And that is like everybody in Jordan or everybody in the
circle.
Arab, you know, it's like your woman, your lady, your partner in life, your wife, whoever, it has to be at some level lower in education. She don't need to work. She can work, but she don't need to work because you're the man of the house. You need to bring the money and so on and so on. So my question is, I know for the fact that for sure for whatever you guys doing is something normal, but did you have this around the family, the friends? Have you had this mindset before that, okay, Sarah's doing whatever she's doing now and so on and so on, she's bringing income to this partners? How do you feel about it? How do you...
Honestly, since day one, like when we started the business, like I knew I have weakness. Like not weaknesses, but my strong points is the back end in terms of strategy, systems, numbers, framework. But when it comes to talking in front of the camera, when it comes to seeing the big picture, or seeing the future, or seeing when is the time to pause, when is time to accelerate, I was lacking in that field, right? And this is when Sarah comes in, and I remember this since day one when we started. I'm like, hey, Sarah, why don't we go on YouTube? Let's record. I remember we were inside an Indian restaurant. I took the phone, and I before even taking the phone, I said, Sarah, what do you think we just start a YouTube channel and just record? Because we acquired some expertise because we had our agency, our marketing agency. We had experience, whatever. I'm like, why don't we just give our knowledge for free and start posting on YouTube, start posting on Instagram, and you have nothing to lose. She's like, never. I don't even know. I can't even speak a sentence.
Yeah, like,
she's
I don't want to talk
even
in front
speak.
of the
I don't know
camera.
even. I mean, I don't even speak English. Like what?
Like I don't speak English. I don't speak Arabic. Like what? Like I'm not gonna speak
I'm
anything.
like, just hold on. I'm gonna take a camera. I'm gonna pull up my phone. I'm gonna record you for a minute, maximum 2 minutes, and just say whatever you had to say. She's like, hi, whatever. I'm like, that's actually pretty good. Look, Sarah, from the get-go, right? So I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, Sarah, she hasn't, she's actually very comfortable in front of the camera. I tried it was horrible.
I would love to see that.
But that's interesting. Who started with this? Like, the decision came out from whom, actually? You
I
or
pushed her
He pushed me
because
to be
I
in front of
saw
the
there was a
camera.
spark, there was light. I'm like, oh my god, this is like like a hidden gems, or like, for example, gold what's inside the cave, and you just need to break the stones and just to make it
Wow.
shine. So I'm like, oh my god, this is insane.
As you didn't have any, like,
I didn't
you
have
never
any
thought
interest.
about it.
I didn't have any interest of showing up in front of the camera or social. Like I've always wanted to have like something public, but
Exactly.
me being in front of the camera, never thought about like. By that time, I had a what was it called? I forgot the page, but I had a page on Instagram.
Yeah.
It was all about food, like going to restaurants and like trying foods, and it was brand new.
Ah.
I'm like, I'm open to that kind of pages, but like me being in front of the camera or talking, I'm like, no, that's not happening.
I'm like, hey, Sarah, you can give value. People can istafadun. They can, learn from you. At the same time, you get to talk, because the whole point of my people look at you, right? You're in front of the cameras, right?
Yeah.
And you're very comfortable. You're really good at speaking, especially Arabic. You're very, fluent. When it comes to that. So that's hitting, 2 birds in 1 stone.
True.
And then we started. I'm telling you from now, it was not easy. I remember the first YouTube videos.
That's the point of this
hardest
show.
thing.
Yes.
Let's talk
It
beyond.
was super
hardest
hard.
stuff.
Yes.
Like, I have a question.
Yeah.
Most of the times, she pushed me, not push me. I have an idea, brilliant idea between me and myself. It's like amazing. I'm gonna crush it and so on. I go and I just like, hey, listen, Kuebra Ashkam, I have something to say. I want to do this. And boom, she slapped me in my face with
Not
like,
all the time.
no,
Objections?
like objections. Dun 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 dun.
Just
Realistic
approach a
objections.
Russell.
Yeah. It's a
perfect
different point
woman.
of view.
Exactly. My always my reaction. You can actually
Yeah.
comment on that. My reaction is always like getting angry,
Rejecting.
rejecting.
Block.
You
Yeah,
reject
I get
her?
angry, yeah.
You get angry.
I get angry
Because
yeah.
in his head, he already did everything.
It's
He's an
perfect.
emotional person. He wants
True.
to immediately react. I'm a more logical. Like, I need to know why and what's the purpose behind why you want to do that, how everything. And for him, it's like too much. Like, he just wants to react.
True. And
But when I tell him, but listen, your idea is great. It's a way to communicate as well, right? I mean, we found out that I need to communicate it in a certain way that he doesn't block. Because for him, it's like I reject his whole idea. Not meaning I reject your whole idea, but there are some adjustments that I would recommend you.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it, but it's my point of view. And that's a beautiful thing. And I think you can agree in a partnership, you can align, like there's a different hat giving you inspiration, seeing it maybe from a different perspective as well.
True. That's the point. I always say that I'm the guy who's like 80% emotional about things to do when it comes to business, and 20% logical. She's the other way around. She's 80% logical and 20% emotional. So whenever she has something to do, I'll be the one who's like pushing it, like just do it, just finish it, and so on. And when I have something to do, or in my mind as an idea, she was like, no, wait, it has to be this and that and this and that.
And this bothers you.
Yeah, sometimes it bothers you. Like 10, 15 minutes, I think about it and I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I have to
give him
sleep
time.
at home. So,
No.
so I have to make everybody happy.
This is our first episode. I'm not that bad, but you'll get to know in the next episode.
Yeah, so just make it, okay. So what do you think about it?
I think,
Oh my
as I
God.
said, it might be then too much for him because in his head he already planned it. But when he thinks about it, then he says, okay, this makes sense and this makes, so I'll give him his space. And at the end, I mean, it's a respectful way of talking about it.
Do you guys have this?
Yeah,
Like,
I relate to that because he also has like, he always has ideas. Okay, you always find Mortada waking up in the morning, new strategies, new ways. Like, Sarah, I thought about this amazing thing. I'm like, not again.
Good morning.
Like, can we just focus? We're doing this. Let's just complete it and then you move on. So he's like, no,
Exactly.
but this is amazing. I'm like, I know it's amazing, but like, I don't have space in my brain to like absorb a new idea or a new strategy. Let's just finish this project, then
And
we
we
move
end
on
up
to the
doing
next
it
one.
my way.
We end up doing it.
My
It's
way.
true. When he wants it, I'm like, khalas, I'm just gonna do it. But most of the time, we come in the middle because if he does it his way, I'm not gonna be happy about it. If I do it my way, he's not gonna be happy about it. So I'm like, okay, we'll do it, but just give me time because I need to think about it.
Yeah.
Why are we supposed to do this? Why do we do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we think about it. So I relate to this scenario.
And
a lot.
it took us a long time, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
At
It
the
took a
beginning,
lot
at
of
the
work.
first year, 2 year, it took me time to understand Sarah.
And to understand my energy.
Yes.
2 years.
Yes, because at the beginning, because I'm like, you know, like that's the wrong side, like on my end. I was like, yo, this is like a bro. I can just, I can just talk. I can just,
exactly, yeah.
I can just say, how come she doesn't have the same energy as me? She should be excited, you know? So I used to speak with my wife as not
a business partner.
like a business partner, not as my wife, my soulmate. I used to say, okay, Sarah, I have this great idea. There's this. I'm extremely excited. I'm expecting from you to be excited, like and to accept that, and we need to implement it. Especially in our end, she is the attractive character. I don't know if you have read the Russell Secrets book, Marketing Secrets book. She's the attractive character. I am the more like the behind the
Yeah.
scenes. You know, so we cannot function. I cannot just do it myself.
Yeah.
I really need her to say yes.
We need each other.
We need each other, like
Yeah.
a glove.
Yeah,
You know.
true.
So at the beginning, especially the first 2 years, was extremely hard because I was literally speaking about business 24/7, literally 24. We wake up morning, night, and at the beginning she was very patient. And I don't know how you managed. She was very patient.
That's interesting. I want to interrupt you
Yeah, yeah.
because we had this as well. When you spend 2 years 24/7 talking about work,
24/7.
have you felt in a way that, like between you and yourself, or maybe even you talked about it, that you are drifting away from your relationship? Like it's just
100%.
It's exhausting.
It's
yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah,
Before the business, we had a greater relationship. But before everything started, like especially in the phase of engagement,
yeah.
there was no business.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. While we were engaged, we had our first business.
That was not like that.
It was not like that, but it was more physical energy because it was the food delivery
But
thing.
still, it took a lot of
But
energy,
because we were engaged, so we were not technically 24/7 together. We still had our
True,
jobs, so that's
true.
8 hours in the office, and then we had the business. Like, okay, what we spent 4 hours, but then each one of us would go home,
Separate.
right? So
Yeah.
we're separate. So it wasn't 24/7. But when we got married, lived together, that's when it's like
Yes.
24/7 of work and living together.
Yes.
That's when things change, and that's when we were like, okay, like why I was patient because I knew every business has, let's say, when it starts,
tribulation.
Yeah.
yes, turbulation, and it takes time to grow.
Yeah.
We're just starting this new business. I'm like, this is normal. That's fine. Like, I know a business
It was
doesn't
hard.
grow,
It was really hard.
within 2 months. I'm like, it's okay. 1 year, that's fine. 2 years, that's fine. But then at a point, you're like, I want to do this business, but I want to enjoy it at the same time. I don't want to just work because the point of like, why did I leave my job? Because I want to do
Yeah.
something for myself, not to work more,
Yeah.
but for myself. I don't want to think, because most people think, or the first motive for to have your own business, it's the money, right? You want to make more money. But you're like, okay, I'm going to make more money, but when am I living? Like, I'm married to this person who I loved. I met in university. We had dreams together. But then I'm like, where's our life together? And that's where like, we have to wake up from this.
And I think a lot of factors come together. Like you in love, you have a financial, you need to be financially stable. Like
Yeah.
you want to live, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
You want to get married. You want to build a family. You want to buy your own house and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of stress factors in this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And especially in the beginning. And I think we can totally relate to that as well. Yes. I mean, we were ready for a lot of turbulence because we had a long distance relationship. Like we had already a lot of turbulence before we got married, but I can totally relate to that. And, you know, I think it's a different, how should I say? Because you said I was talking to her like a business partner.
Yes.
Did you realize that you need to shift in a way? Like,
yes, I thank God I shifted. Like if not, you know,
something happened. Like there was a breakdown.
Like you know, like any business, you know, any business partner, there's always, you know, ups and downs. But at one point, you need to understand that okay, this is not everything is about making more money, making more. True, making more is nice. Growing monthly 20% each month, that's fantastic. But at what cost?
True.
And at the end of the day, you need to say, okay, what's a good ROI? Is it my health? Is it money? What is it? So I start understanding, and not only that, I also invested in myself. Like I start taking also like coaching calls with other people. I had a lot of limiting beliefs in terms of controlling, you know, myself, my mindset. I wasn't a really big, you know, believe in those stuff. I told you, I'm a numbers guy. You know, if you tell me control your feelings and all that stuff and having the right mindset, I don't believe that in that. Used to, but after really investing in myself and really like, okay, hey, this is my wife I'm dealing with. This is my life. You know, this is my soulmate. I cannot treat her as another Mortada is in front of me.
Exactly.
You know? Did that happen like a year ago? Like the last 12 months was...
The last year, it was way better.
Way
better.
I think the peak happened, or when we woke up from this, is when COVID happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
After I think maybe 2 months of the lockdown, because that's when we were 24/7. Because before COVID or before lockdown, actually, like we still had our moments alone. Like he would go biking, I would go for a walk. We would like do separate things for at least an hour. But when lockdown happened, and we were home the whole time, so we're just working, and this is when like, what am I doing? Like I know it's like there's lockdown, but then I'm sure I can do something else. So the last, I want to say, since the lockdown was done, it got way better. It's like, no, there's a life I want to live. I think COVID taught us a lot as well.
Yeah. Like at one point, I'm like, and even me, like if I can speak about business and growth and strategy non-stop. Non-stop.
We know.
Yeah.
We know.
I think everyone who knows us knows that.
Non-stop. Like it's really joyful for me, and I can never get, you know, bored of it or anything like that. But I need to see, and thank God, alhamdulillah, I managed. Okay, I can't speak with her 24 hours. I need, you know, a certain time. And even now, say, hey Sarah, can I ask you a question? It's related to business. Is it okay? She's like, no, not now. I'm busy now.
Yeah, literally. Because in the beginning, I'm like, okay, whatever idea you have, just tell me. But then if you're just like focusing and you're like someone tells you ideas, I'm like,
it's too much.
I can't. Like I'm not focusing. I have this thing to do, and I can't focus. And then right now, even now, I'm like, I will try to fit you in my schedule.
Exactly.
It's like I'll have a brainstorm session with you.
100%.
Because other than that, I won't be able to finish my work.
Like now, I write like anything I want to share with her. I write like we have a document like Asana. You know Asana? It's a software, like you share notes, whatever, like due dates and all that stuff. Yeah. So I have a page, like a folder, me and Sarah, anything that I want to share with her. And anytime that she wants to open that folder, there's all these bullet points that she needs to do, all ideas I want to share with her. And she reads them on her time, on whenever she feels like it. And that's it. And I even learned like, hey, I don't even tell her, Sarah, go. She knows when it's the right time and she goes. Because I realized when you know the person, when she is in the right mood or the right, you know, she'll become more productive.
100%.
Like 2x, 3x 100%. Versus you push her versus, hey Sarah, you need to do this. Hey Sarah, you need to do this. So I realized when you push someone, they're not gonna perform their best.
100%.
But when they want, they will do it.
But that's the thing. We had it. I'll be honest with you. We've known you now for 3 years, and for the first 2 times that you guys came to Dubai versus this time,
mashallah,
it's different. That's why I asked you what happened. Like the last 12 months, something happened. I'll be honest, I don't mean anything. We don't mean anything behind it, but it was just like being
different, more comfortable, more stable.
Now more comfortable, like more into each other.
I don't think that it has to do with us. Like you were always like, but I felt, and I'm really happy that you guys are more like this clock, you know, more aligned.
Like
So-
it showed, that
Yeah.
they are not just business partners.
No,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah. No, she took me
Mashallah.
out the corner. She's like, "Hey, look, if you don't stop,
You do the same when it comes to the
So
household.
that
Hey,
happened
look.
to me as well.
if you don't stop."
I wish it was that easy, but no, honestly,
Yeah.
what did help us, because now with having our team, it took a lot of
Yeah.
weight off our shoulders.
Yeah.
Before, when
Yeah.
we were starting the business, a lot of the weight were on our shoulders, so we're just like working. Imagine of like coming up with strategies, dealing with clients, being on social media,
Yeah.
dealing with this, coaching, and the whole thing. We're just like working. But then when you start delegating, and it took time to delegate because we wanted to find the right people in our team.
100%.
Yeah.
So when we were able to find that, we're like, now we can
Started to
breathe.
breathe,
Now we
yeah.
can like just, okay, now I can focus on my things. So it did reflect on our energy when of like, I can have this day off without feeling guilty of like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
True.
off, I should work. No,
wow.
I'm supposed to be working. I'm supposed to be shooting. It did reflect on our health. And then that's another thing of sometimes you think you can push, but then your body just like, hey, wake up. You can't push me anymore. Like I'm freezing. So this is when you're like, okay, again, I'm here for the business. I love the business, but then I have my body, I have my mind, I have
Because it's dangerous. Because
Yeah,
it
someday
is.
you can wake up and you start hating your business.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that's really dangerous.
true.
You know?
You like this hamster, and that's what he said. You feel guilty. You like this hamster in this wheel, and you're just running, and you just feel the speed.
Yeah.
But then you're like, I need to get out. Still being in the speed.
Yeah.
And when you then take a day off, and you're like, I need to relax because you don't want to hate whatever you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you feel guilty about it.
You
So-
think taking a time off, it's waste of time.
exactly.
True.
You
Yes.
need to because
And
you
for
want
me,
it to be
taking
stable.
a day off is like weakness.
True.
You know?
True.
And until I find it extremely
It
hard
is
to
hard.
take a day off. Extremely hard. Even today, she's like, why don't you just take a like half day off? I'm like, what? No.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
can.
even function. It doesn't even go
Yeah.
inside my mind.
Like, the
There's
thing
so much
with
stuff
him-
I need to do.
Yeah, with him, he doesn't mind working like 24 hours. I'm like, with me, it's like, no, I'm gonna walk into my office at this time, open my laptop at this time, close at this time. After that, I don't care what happens and everything. You're just gonna talk to me in the morning. I don't care if I message. Like even my phone is most of the time is on do not disturb. I don't even have notifications on my phone except for WhatsApp. I don't even give my number to people except for either the team members, close people, and my family.
True.
I'm like, I'm not gonna be distracted. And this only happened because before I was always like on my phone.
Rushing. Yeah.
I was always email, messaging, Instagram,
You get so
Facebook,
overwhelmed.
everywhere. And I'm like, you can't do this
cannot.
at this point.
It's exhausting.
It
Have
is.
you- like especially when you go on social media, the amount of like it's
Yeah.
like it's insane.
Yeah.
It takes away your creativity.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
such a creative person, but once you are in the speed, you feel like you're lacking more and more creativity. It's like there's the fuel is just going
And you
somewhere, but
look
you
at
don't
this
know
person,
where.
you look at this person.
It's
this
like
person is
comparing.
Compare
And
yourself,
you compare
exactly.
This is why
Yes.
I have on like all my social media platform. I have 15 minutes.
It didn't work
Yeah.
for me.
I didn't work.
Everything. I put
15
50
minutes.
minutes. Ignore for the whole day.
15 minutes on Instagram, 15 minutes on TikTok, and that's my that's it.
Like for instance, what I do is I closed it off to see how many likes a post gets because I don't want to know how many likes something or somebody gets because I'm not going through the figures. I just want to do something that I like and experience and enjoy the journey. But if you just look at, and that's what we need to do, look at the figures and how is this performing? What should I change? And so on and so forth. It starts to not get that much fun
Yes.
because you're just trying to adopt. You're not being that creative, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So doing all of this like stressful and social media and so you felt that this is taking the spark away from your relationship and then you decided that
It's dangerous.
Well,
need
yeah,
to-
working most of the time just takes the spark. You're just always distracted by
True.
it's like, yeah, this is work. And then I told him something. I'm like, look, work will never end.
Yeah.
You're gonna finish this task, like, oh, move on next one.
And if
next
someone
one,
tells
next
you,
one.
hey, you need to find balance in your life, and
There's no
find
balance.
there's no such thing as
No,
balance. in
yeah.
You
life
do the
because
effort.
You
to
do the
balance.
effort. Yeah, you try to get the balance, but you'll never get a balance 100%
True.
because you need to go through that pain
True.
to go up. You need to. Some people go through that pain and they give up, they tap out and they separate, for example, right? So you need to go through that pain and then you elevate together, you know? Like, have you seen ever someone say, oh, I won the golden medal by just being balanced and being, you know, I just do 2 hours of training a day and I'm going to win the golden. He went through trial and tribulation and pain and countless sleepless nights to win that golden medal. So the same thing with us, you know,
And
in
that's what I
anything
keep
you
saying
want,
to
you know?
people, like especially when people are like, "Oh, I want to have my own business." I'm like, "Good for you, but be prepared for stuff that
Yes.
you didn't imagine." Like it's not easy. Like now, the fact that we're talking about it, most of the stuff people don't know about, And I'm like, but I always express, I'm like, look, it was never easy,
Yes.
whether I'm doing it alone or me and him together. It's not just of like, oh, I have a business, I'm gonna go work and then khalas, clock
I
out.
think there's always a new category of problems. Now,
Yeah.
let's say, for example, before it's us. Then after that, let's say now you grow the team. Now inside the team, there's problems. Now after that, there's all type of problems. And we live in a world full of problems.
I mean, you won't, especially in business, like as us entrepreneurs, you're actually here to solve a problem.
Exactly.
And if you don't have a problem, then you don't have a business, right?
Exactly.
So, and obviously you won't have a life just with no problems, right? You're gonna have problems. You're gonna have, whether in business, in life, or I don't know, team members or whatever it is. But you just have to accept it and accept how to deal with it, and not just ignore it or like stress over it. Just learn how to deal with it.
I think we all see it, if we call it problems, it sounds a bit negative, but it's more like loving the challenge as well.
Yes.
Because it's
Yeah.
a challenge that we're accepting, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a problem. We always have these challenges in life. When we grow up, we need to decide what we want to do. When we're in business, we need to decide which path to take.
Yeah.
So I think we're all challenge lovers, and we just want to find out how far can we go.
Exactly. A lot of people, they tap out and they're like, okay, this
Yeah,
is not for
from the
me.
first try.
I cannot. And some people, you know what? Let's sit down and let's try to fix it.
I think that's what's beautiful about partnerships as well, is sometimes I feel like I cannot do anymore. And then I have him to back me up.
Yeah.
And then there are days where he is just like exhausted. And I'm like, come on, you did
Yeah.
so
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
You
It's
have
the
like
same.
this motivator
Yes.
in your
Someone's
life.
feeling low, you push
Yes.
them up, so the other person, yeah, it's the same
Exactly.
thing.
But in the beginning, I didn't have that much doubts. But I remember, like, I was 30 years. I'm 35 now. I was 30 years old. We got to know each other now for 8 years, and we met in Malaysia. And I remember I was telling her, listen, by the age of 35, I will having my own thing. I'm not gonna work in a corporate at the age of 35. That was like 5 years.
5 years after.
Back then, Kuebra, she still had this corporate mindset, that
Classic.
the same
yeah.
classic
Work your way up to your inside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of what I went through in my
Yeah.
life.
But you can't. This is the system
No,
you
you know-
brought up, and you went to school for that.
Yeah, then the other thing is like I only had my mom. My mom grew up like
Yeah.
raised me up by herself, and I saw that it is a financial stability that you need, and being this woman and standing on your own, like this gave me safety.
Yes.
And this is what you said. You had to go to school to get that safety and learn, right?
True.
Because you were so young. Like I studied and worked as well, and I gained a lot of experience. I met a lot. I built a lot of networking and
100%.
all these things.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to think that way because I saw in my environment a lot of people failing as well doing their business because they
Exactly.
didn't have a strategy.
Exactly.
Because they did give up. They
Yeah.
didn't adopt.
But that is good that you implemented those ideas, like at least seeds you put her, and
Yeah.
even she was open to accept it.
100%.
That's
Because
what
I
happened.
spoke with a lot of people, like my friends who graduated, they're engineers now, some of them they're lawyers. I spoke with them, I'm like, hey, you're a lawyer now, you have like 5 years experience, why don't you open your own firm and you can start now, you know all the stuff, right? You know how to get clients, whatever, and all that stuff. He's like, whoa, you want me to open my own firm? I don't know how to get clients. I
It's
don't know
difficult.
It's
Yeah.
difficult. And he just, listed a whole
All the obstacles.
Yeah.
obstacle. I can't do this. I don't know how to
But-
do this. I don't know. But I'm like, you have 5 years. You're actually number one in your,
Yeah.
you're number one in your firm,
Yeah.
But the way how the school system
Yes.
designed, I work for this someone.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I get a check. At the end of the month, I get a check. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Bonsoir. In French, we say, that's it.
That's
you know,
for
and but you have that 0.01% who thinks outside the box, and these are the entrepreneurs. And I tried so many ways. Hey, you can do this. I can help you. I can get you leads, whatever. And he's like, you know what, Mortada, I'm gonna think about it. And after 6 months, I'm like, hey, what happened? Did you start your business? Did you at least start an LLC, like whatever? No, I was just saying, man, there's so much competition.
Yeah.
Let me stay in this firm. They already have the clients. I don't need to go. And then I'm like, hey, this guy, why I'm forcing him, like why I'm forcing my ideologies on him. He's actually happy. Like he's making like 6 figures a year and he's happy and he has a family and all that stuff, So not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur taking risk because by the way, let's be honest, as you mentioned, a lot of people fail.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my question. Like, have you guys had this doubts? Have you guys have this misalignment between each other? Like, we want to get to B, we're here A, we want to be at B, but you had it and she didn't, or she had it but you hadn't, like as a vision?
I always had the vision. I always had the vision. But
And how did you deal with it?
No, we
Like,
shared the vision.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, as the like the man of the house, or like there's some responsibilities. Both of us, we have a responsibility. We want to live comfortable and all that stuff. So I took it in a perspective, in a way of let's say if we do the business, let's say we launch our agency, or let's say we launch our business online, all that stuff, and it didn't work. We have a backup. So we had a backup. A lot of people say, hey, or you hear people go, take risk, cross B, there's no plan B, whatever. At some extent, yes, okay, it's good. There's no backup. Yeah. But let's be honest here. You need a backup,
sure,
plan,
you need to
right?
live, you need to keep
And I
living.
would say in our case, it was easier compared to other people. Like, for example, like some of
We
his
didn't
friends,
have kids.
exactly. Like some of his friends, they already have a family, they have a house, they have more responsibility. So it's more
They have a
risky
mortgage,
for them.
they have a car.
As
know?
for
Yes.
us, we were still engaged. We only had like our jobs.
Yes.
We didn't have these expenses. And like our expense was, we always imagined
Rent.
like, oh, we're going to have a wedding. But we didn't have a wedding. We're like, you know what? I'm just going to cut this expense.
Let's
Why?
save this money.
Because we had the vision of like, we have a future life instead of just enjoying like 5 or 6 hours for a wedding. Like, no, we have a longer vision.
We
or
have
like
a long event.
Exactly, for 30, 40, 50 years than just an event.
Yeah.
That's like when people were like, oh, you're not going to have a wedding, I regret it. I'm like, I don't know, I'll see. I don't regret it. We still enjoyed our
How much did
our
your
night.
wedding dress cost?
Wedding dress?
Yeah.
$150. I bought it online.
That's Sarah. Like I know this. She's
I
so
bought it online. I'm like, yeah, that's a nice
How
dress.
much your shoes?
She's so
how much
humble,
your shoes?
mashallah.
I guess
$20?
no, that's 100.
$100?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep it in the budget.
Yo, $100 back then.
Back then,
It's a lot.
I remember when I was a student, $100 is like, this is crazy. Like, what? $100? I could spend this for the whole month.
She's
But if
like
I'm
you, by the
honest,
way,
if
yeah.
I'm honest, I know Sarah, and I know that she's still humble and she doesn't care about these shiny objects and everything.
yeah.
I know that.
Until even now, like sometimes when we go to the mall, like, Sarah, let me take you to let me buy you these fancy things. Or
She says, I don't need it.
no, she's just like,
Why?
no, I don't need it.
Yeah,
Actually,
exactly.
I'm good. Let
Like,
me just save
it's
this
nice. I would look at it, I'm like, I appreciate it. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't need it.
Is it worth it?
it doesn't define me.
Exactly.
It won't change me. And money won't make you a better human. It's either it's
100%.
you or,
That's why I love you.
and it's always,
And even there was a person, he says, Sarah, he's a brand strategist. He's like, Sarah, if you want to really explode in the Middle East and you have the funds, you have the money, you have all that stuff, why don't you start wearing high fashionable stuff?
That's it.
And rent cars or buy cars or rent mansions and just start posting. And he actually gave us this advice. And he's really like a brand strategist and he worked with really super big, people and all that stuff. And apparently this is a strategy. Yeah. Everything you post, you don't need to talk about, hey guys, I bought
It's just
X,
branded.
whatever.
Yeah.
Just behind it or just wear it. You don't need to talk about it. Or like, for example, take a story inside, let's say a Rolls Royce, there's lights, there's stars, whatever. You don't need to say, hey guys, I'm in a Rolls Royce. You just
Working. It's working.
Yeah, but I want
and
to say
he's like, trust me, it works in terms of conversion in ads, in terms of everything. People will see you. And he was speaking with us for like hours and convincing. And Sashi was like, no, that's not me.
but in my head,
No,
I'm like,
that's
when
not
is he
me.
just gonna stop? It's like today I own some of the luxury brands. Because when I actually like it, if it's something unique, I'm like, okay, I'll buy it, but for myself. It's not to like, oh, look at what I'm wearing, or like showcasing the stuff that I have, like take a picture of it. I like it because it's unique.
But you'd
It's
be
different.
surprised. People,
Yeah.
when they see this,
Yeah.
they give you more authority.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. No, that's reality.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
Why do you see most people, these gurus online, whenever they go online, they drive, they shoot in their fancy car, exotic cars, or they are, let's say, in a really fancy, mansions.
Yeah.
The majority of them, 99%, they don't even own those stuff. But when they shoot, it's there. But when I see it, it's related to this. So if he's telling me buy my XYZ,
And he's driving a Rolls Royce.
so it means I'll get to that. So
Yeah.
and it works.
Yeah.
It does.
It's working, yeah.
You know?
But
That's what I'm
guys,
saying.
I'm a brand strategist as well, and I want to say one thing here. It's about brand awareness that he's mentioning, that you should get the awareness there, right?
Yeah.
But what you need to talk about is as well blending in. You don't want to blend in. So blending in, and whom do you want to attract?
Yeah.
Sarah doesn't want to attract people.
Exactly.
So it's the wrong advice to Sarah to say
Yes.
that, because this is only on the surface. A brand is really what's below the surface. And if-
Beyond the surface.
yeah, but beyond the surface.
Just
But
give
I
him
know Sarah as a person, and the advice I would give her is just to be herself, because the people that you attract seeing all these
Exactly.
fancy, shiny objects are the ones that are just doing it for the money, right?
Yeah.
But Sarah is doing it because of a different purpose. She wants people to change their life. Money is a tool that you use to have a better life.
Yeah.
100%.
So if you want to attract these people that they just look for, I want to drive that and I want to be cool and I want to be this authority. All right, good. But
You're attracting the wrong person.
exactly.
That's not your target audience.
And that's why she,
100%.
And
I
you're
wouldn't
gonna
recommend.
expire.
No, because
you're gonna expire soon. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like you're gonna keep doing it. Okay, 1 year, 2 years, 10
then
years,
what?
15 years. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and then you have all the money and what about your family? Did you care on them? What's your belief on that? What's your value? What do you represent?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I wouldn't recommend you, and I know you personally, because that's not who you are. Yeah, and that's not people that you would attract to. So it's a wrong advice. If you want to swim on the surface, okay. But if she keeps going like this, if you guys keep going like this, you'll rock it, and we'll stand there and we'll cheer you up, like, woo, because we're really proud of you, mashallah.
Thank you so
and you will
much.
just go
Funny
away.
story. What happened? We were talking with really, really famous personality on Instagram, millions of followers, check mark, you name it. So she booked a call with us. She wanted to help in her marketing and how to scale and all that stuff, right? We were in a Zoom. I don't know if I mentioned this story or not.
I think you did.
Yeah. We were in a Zoom call and she's like, Sarah, I'm sorry, I'm not wearing my Chanel earrings or my necklace.
Like,
I'm in my pajamas.
Did you accept the apology?
And I'm like, excuse me?
I froze for a moment. I'm like, why?
That's okay.
why
Be
do I-
comfortable. It's
do I
okay. She's
care?
like, I'm sorry, I'm in my pajamas. I'm usually, whenever I'm out or whenever like I speak with people, I'm always wearing brands or whatever because I need to keep up the
With the
appearance
image.
with the image because people, whenever they see me, they need to see, okay, I'm a certain, so I'm sorry. And she apologized like 2 times, 3 times. I'm like, you don't need to apologize. It's okay. Look at me. I'm in a t-shirt. I really don't care. And I'm like, wow. Whoa.
You have all.
And I was
there's a
like,
lot.
I was shocked.
And there's a lot
And
of people.
you know
actually
what I
looking for
noticed?
that.
And she said, if I don't do this, people will not buy my stuff.
True.
And they will see me. So I need to do this for the people.
True. That's what we have. Before we're ending this episode, we were talking about it.
It's the best episode.
Super.
I could do this
super
every. I
well.
mean, we already do this.
I don't know that
whenever
we've been talking for 1 hour. now.
Yeah,
Can you
crazy.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because it's so casual. We really get along with each other. So
But I have a question now. Now, as long as I'm sure that there's a lot of couples, partners, mainly couples, they're gonna watch this episode. What is the failures, the mistakes that you would avoid before starting whatever you're starting now and where you're going, that you would like to tell people, couples mainly, when they want to do something for themselves, or even if they're not backing each other up and so on? So you just tell us this.
Honestly, I would pause and accept that she is my wife, she is my soulmate, and treat her as. So when it comes to work, this is ours. You work, let's say, for example, from 9 to 5. And after that, that's it. She's my wife. Let's go out. Let's have fun. You separate. I know it's extremely hard, and it's easy to say it in front of the camera, in front of you. Hey, you can just separate, whatever. It took me 2 years. It took us 2 years to come, and even until this moment, we'll still manage to find some, we talk about her. Very hard, especially coming from me. For her, mashallah, it's like this.
Switch on,
Switch on. She knows when it's time to work. That's
exactly what happens.
full thrust.
yeah, protecting herself in that
So
way as well. Yeah.
see as your partner, hey, this is my partner, this is my soulmate. I love her. Let's go out, spend some time together. And this is what I realized: separate. Let's say, for example, hey, you have XYZ task. I have XYZ task. Let's meet up after, let's say, 4 or 5 hours. And this is what I realized to really have a healthy relationship together.
And so,
I would say, listen to your body, because this is something that
That's so good.
you think.
you have to
And
That's so good. That's such a good advice.
That's a
by the way.
women's advice.
Yeah,
That's
because
such a good-
because I've been working on that. Yeah,
Good point.
I've been working on that with him for the past few years, because sometimes you're like, no, it's okay, I just have to work. But then when your body shuts down, then your brain won't work. You're like,
cannot.
what's the point of me just sitting in front of the computer? And I'm like, I'm not productive. I'm not working. I don't have ideas. I'm not doing anything. So give your
And
body
this is
a
what
break.
I love about it. Whenever I like, you know what, I'm gonna take some time off, whatever. She's like, yes, go for it. Relax, whatever. I'm like, Oh, wow, I'm expecting.
I love it when he takes a break. I love it. I'm like, please take a
Because
break, go
she
out,
wants
walk,
you to be
bike.
there for the rest of her life,
Oh
inshallah.
my god!
Yeah.
I'm so blessed. Honestly, we were in the car, and I was sad. You know what's the biggest gift God gave me? That we are, فعلا, a true blessing that we have the chance to work together.
MashaAllah.
That's a true blessing. Even you guys, like, I don't know if you have the same,
Of
like,
course. Alhamdulillah, of course.
every single day, I'm like, thank God, Alf Alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
I have the
Alhamdulillah.
and biggest gift of my life.
Yes.
I have the chance to work with my wife.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
That's
amazing.
That's such a beautiful end.
That's super amazing. We're ending this episode with the most beautiful couples that we got to know. Really, best friends for life. And it was nice. It was amazing. I mean, thank you for all of
Yes.
Thank
Thank you for having
I'm
us.
sorry for actually saying some stuff that maybe you didn't expect. Like, we got to know you and stuff. It's okay. So still, we're gonna talk to each other. after
We're still
this
friends. We're
episode.
still friends.
Alhamdulillah. So that's it for us, and that's it for Sarah and Mortada.
Thank you so
and
much.
We'll see you for the next episode, inshallah. See you.